into the hole.
All right, so
Get out of my hole.
you do see that this goes back up to the surface. No bioluminescent trickery there, though. After you brought it up, I did think about it.
It just looks like it goes to the surface.
And there's also the light catching on a mostly submerged in silt item on the ground, and it's sticking out. It looks like a flap or something.
Can I see it?
Yes, you can see it.
I'll go get it. Why not? I've got 12 HP left.
Pull it out.
What's going to happen?
It's a it's a buckling haversack. It's non-magical. Just you thought it was a handy haversack, and I had to quash that right there. Yeah. I was like, Steve thinks it's a handy haversack. It's not a handy haversack. It is instead full of small jars of things.
Jars of things.
Mm-hmm.
Pee.
That sounds fun.
Is that what it is?
Well,
Jars of piss.
This is.
I'm assuming I'm assuming I'm not examining the contents of the bag while I'm swimming.
No.
No.
No. You just kind of glance in there while you're swimming. See, it's full of jars, and then continue to the surface, which you arrive at.
Oh, I'll take a look.
Are we out in the middle of an ocean?
You end up back at where'd it go?
We're right next to the ship.
There you go.
Hold
End
on,
up back
Tom.
out here, except there's no more hill giant.
Yeah.
Where'd the body
Yeah,
go?
well, will they run up to the surface? I can hang behind a minute and look at those jars. Anything of interest?
The jars in the bag that I'm carrying.
Near the
Oh, you
base
took
of
the
this
bag?
tree.
I didn't hear you took the bag.
They said you took the bag. So when
Well,
you get
I
up
went
there,
to go get the bag. Do you think I left it behind?
I didn't hear you say that.
So you take a peek at the jars now. They appear to be filled with a couple different kinds of liquid. The jars are also treated with some kind of magic. It's an enchantment.
Mm.
So I knew someone was about to ask.
No, but see, you're not doing it right, because the tech magic tells me what the magic does as well.
Oh, it's a protective coating that prevents whatever's in there from touching the glass of the jar.
Is it more sticky stuff?
No, it's not more sticky stuff.
No.
You would be able to figure out if it's sticky stuff.
Oh no, you're right. It's identify. Identify. I didn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's identify, not detect magic.
Mhm.
So
Assume I'm identifying all the jars.
these jars are in order.
Mhm.
One is just a jar of what looks like human blood, but with
delicious.
some mild necromancy applied to it.
Oh, okay.
Is it a zestiness? Earthiness, I should say. Yeah.
It's
Just
just
an
not
earthiness.
blood.
This
Yes.
may be the first incident of necromancy magic being utilized for seasoning that you've seen.
Seasoning.
Then you
Oh yeah.
you find some thalmoformic acid, some what looks like venom of some kind. You were willing to bet money that it's from a mist hunter's fangs.
Hey,
And,
isn't that something we need?
Yes. And of course, a jar of what could only be, judging from the smell, dead man's bile.
Oh.
I was just
there-
joking when I said he was getting solid.
Yeah, I mean
are,
that's a windfall.
Looks
They
like
are-
Roboticus was busy beforehand.
Yes, this
He must
this
have
looks
came by
like
here before.
there were some other jars. There are many other jars in here that are either cracked, so the contents leaked out and ate a small hole, through the bottom of the sack here, but it looks like he had already done most of this and collected many of the materials. This looks like a bag of maybe spare jars if he had to make multiple doses.
Multiple doses?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
But as it stands, you have what looks like enough to probably complete the full potion one time.
Well, it's a good thing I chose to go to the dragons first. Just think if I had chose to track something else.
You're right. That would have turned out poorly.
What if we did the dragons last? We gone everywhere else, gotten all the ingredients, and went to the dragon. We're like, oh look, the sack of everything we just collected. Damn it!
A sack of everything we just collected. Literally the best way to describe it.
All right. Well, then, I don't see why we wouldn't go back to the tower. Anyone object? Anyone have any narrative
Sounds
words they'd
fine
like
to
to
me.
inject into the situation?
No, it seems like a good plan. It cuts me far deeper than any of the wounds I have suffered thus far. I mean, it's impossible to tell because I can't express anything on my face.
Oh my god.
Yep.
When you say that, I rotate my head around to face you two, and then I mention the mold he ate. You turning on us already?
Oh my god.
I'm watching you.
Oh my god. It was an extremely regrettable error in judgment, and it won't happen again.
Lady looks at
It's a
her.
It's a good thing you didn't
her
say that
fried
you ate the mold,
pudding.
because then you would be a fucking liar now.
Mm,
Lady looks at like the singed collar, her cufflinks on her shirt are all like burned, and her hair's like sticking up, and she's just like, "Yeah, don't do it again."
I promise. I will make great efforts.
Wish she had a better
More
killer
thought, less
instinct.
If it makes any of you feel any better, I'm sure that I'll receive. I mean, I'm already receiving karmic retribution, far in excess of anything else that's happened so far.
In excess of me being struck by lightning?
No. In excess of anything else I've received.
Hey.
Yeah.
He's just been jerking off all week like, I'm gonna fucking lightning bolt this motherfucker.
I'm so sorry.
Alright, let's go back to the tower.
Anyway, so when you ask if anyone has anything to add, you hear something you very rarely enjoy hearing, which is from somewhere in Spelulon's carapace. Something says,
Well, I certainly have a couple ideas.
Who said that?
I turn away quickly and
Hey,
You know what, I'm
it's a
just gonna
distraction.
leave
Let's
him
pay attention to that, not
on my.
me.
I'm gonna leave Thupus on my belt from now on.
"Okay, this is on your belt." I have to note
Don't
that 'cause
drop
I'm gonna immediately forget to notate that. No.
Good idea.
Thufus-
Carry a gem on your belt. No one will steal that.
I'll chain it. I guess I don't know. What more-
get a little wallet chain for him.
Or maybe we can just like weld him on a fixed mount on me. So
Ooh, I can do that.
Just mount him to your.
Let me get my
skull.
Smith's tools out.
yeah, just he could be jewelry, And hopeful.
Yeah, we can do that at the tower. I'll like hammer in like a slot for you, the gem. I'll get my jeweling tools out.
This could work.
How are you better at it? I get double proficiency scores for tools. I actually don't have jewelry.
Okay, well, you can do it then.
You can put it on there.
Is this jewelers or smiths though? Because it's like jewelers is like carving gems and shit, whereas like smiths tools would be like. No one wants a turnover chain.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Cuban link chain. It is better just Google it.
Yeah.
They, as a incentive for their players to get turnovers throughout the season, anytime they would force a turnover, they would get to wear the turnover chain.
Jesus Christ! That guy right there is gonna pawn that 6 years from now.
He doesn't. They don't get to.
Yeah, they don't get to keep it. It's they get to wear it for the duration of the game.
Oh, I see.
Until the
I
next
thought he
person
just
gets
like bought
turnover.
that. I thought he bought that and he puts it on after the match is over. And
No, that
it's
would
like
be
his personal chain.
that would actually be.
Okay,
Miami
see, I don't
boosters
really
are
understand
weird.
anything about football, so
Yeah, I don't know how football
A
works.
bunch of rich people that really like UM bought that.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was an entire 0.3% of Will.i.am's net worth. Or net profit that day. He's anyway, linking pictures of large gold chains, Desiree. We've gotten off topic, is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very off.
Very much so.
Thufus.
Yeah, Thufus is doing.
Yeah, Thufus pipes up, and everyone rolls their eyes.
I've regrettably enough had dealings with these hags before. Didn't think it prudent to mention it before. I wanted you to still trust me, of course, but I would say that they are not usually this altruistic with their dealings with mortals.
I see. Well, that isn't surprising in the slightest.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, they
Creatures
just
like that don't just like do regular dealings.
I've had to negotiate with them to acquire certain rare reagents, or perhaps a scroll or two for research purposes, of course. But
I'm sure.
the last time, I thought we had everything settled. It was going very well. They still ate my lab assistant.
well, that's just terrible.
It was extremely inconvenient.
I
imagine.
understand entirely.
So they must have some ulterior motive besides the well-being of Feldale, a town they use mostly as a food source, and defending their turf, which really they care very little about. They don't exactly maintain the swamp. It would be effortless for them to simply move their lairs. It's just a hut more than anything. Really, it's not attractive. It's not prime real estate.
Are you suggesting that they may have their own angle to play in this?
I believe that
power
is a
grab
safe
attempt?
bet. Very much like how they stole that dragon skull from under our noses before I could tell you of its value or of its magical properties.
Well, we
I
couldn't
think-
haul it away, could we?
They are after something for personal gain. I think they are doing this not for survival, but for power and profit. I don't know what their game is yet, but old Thufus will find out.
I imagine
agree
he
with you
will.
on that. it's clear to me that they will attempt to subvert the Elders' plot if they can, for their own ends.
Of course.
Well, at the very least, there's certainly the lesser of two evils in this case. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Actually, he is. He's considered to be the worst of them. Yeah, he dies a lot, but in the lore, he's considered to be worse than the other two.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
So-
my greatest fear is that we're stuck with a lesser of two evils situation.
Which is, not really great since we don't really want any evils if we can avoid it.
Yes, they're all rather evil, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, of course. They used to be a lot more common. Only the strongest are left after the cataclysm. That really disrupted the magic, as it were. It sustained them. Oh yes, they can be killed. It's not easy, of course, but you can slice them up. Rather. It's well, in the case of these hags, one of them is a night hag, which means that she has a soul bag, which means that, of course, if they were to die, the soul bag would absorb their souls, and, well, it would probably explode. Or create a portal into an alternate dimension, one of those.
Ooh, I want that one.
Both of those seem terrible.
That interests me quite a bit.
Yeah,
Whoa.
good question.
My headphones came unplugged like a little tiny bit, and everyone's voice was just static that sounded vaguely human. It was terrifying.
Weird.
I thought I'd been like sent to the Shadow Realm.
Mhm. You might have. Who knows?
No proper upstanding demon would ever make a deal with a hag. They know when they're going to be outsmarted. Although I suppose if one were to end up in hell, they would well, that would be a battle of wits, wouldn't it?
With the devils?
Yes, who can come up with the longer and less advantageous contract?
Mhm. That sounds incredibly tedious.
Probably give it to the devils on that
They
one.
would love it.
Yeah, it's kind of their specialty.
It's kind of their thing, yeah.
Yeah, but the judge is also a devil.
Two lawyers fighting is what this is. Two lawyers fighting.
Sounds awful. Mm.
Kick the problem down the road until they finally decide to team up and combine their powers.
Right?
Well, when you die, it
From
all
my
depends
perspective,
on
just
where your
away.
soul ends up.
I
It
guess.
could be a variety of places. It could be the Abyss. It could be one of the 9 hells if you've been particularly naughty.
Mhm.
It could be any of your gods' home planes if you're a religious sort. Or you could simply become one with this plane's life forces in a very sort of ethereal, boring way. Or you could rip out your own soul and shove it into a crystal.
That's also all right. Cool. Well,
What kind of idiot would do that?
Spellion is just befuddled at these afterlives for organics. Just the,
Yeah,
the-
you
the
think you're
idea.
immortal. We're actually immortal. We have a soul.
Right.
We have.
I'm
Souls.
going to heaven when I die. All because I believe in my Lord Jesus Christ.
Ugh, get out of here.
Oh God! Don't be.
You can read more about it in the Bible.
Please don't be that one girl from Ghost Story. I can't handle
Right?
it.
That girl's great.
Can't deal with this.
That is not an acceptable character archetype.
Oh my god,
Wait,
that
wait,
is
wait.
a character I'm gonna roll.
Essentially, Boxy is allowable, but
I haven't even roleplayed. Let's be real. I've been nice.
No, yeah, you've been very nice.
yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
okay.
That's true.
Hi. Miss-
Stop that! Stop it! Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So get back to the tower. Or Doofus can say something else.
Mhm.
So, here we go. So you've got some maps for your map device. You've got all the ingredients you need. You are just missing one very important part of the alchemical puzzle, and it appears to be the part that his name wasn't Roboticus. What did I name my?
The robot? Your
Yeah.
robot? Roboticus Maximus.
It was Roboticus. For some reason my brain was like, no, it's not Roboticus, and I was like, but I thought it was. And then I argued with my internal voice for a minute. Wondered if I was crazy. The usual.
The usual.
But you are going to need the catalyst, according to his writings.
What is the catalyst?
The catalyst is, and this is something that you have to, on the way back, consult Thufus on and have him do some very heavy reading through the Necronomicon. He's going through footnotes. He's referring to other ancient tomes that he's got copies of back in there. But it all comes down to how an anathema is made if it doesn't show up naturally. It either, because it could either spring into being from the very beginning as an essential part of it. But in the very rare case that it doesn't happen, that some foul magic is able to prevent the anathema from showing up alongside, then you're going to have to make one. The catalyst is something from the origin point of what it was meant to destroy. Because in further reading, the crux of the matter is that everything, every person, every object, every plane even has an anathema, has something that can kill it. Right? Everything has a weak point. And inevitably it can either be made or it came into being when that thing appeared. All you need is a catalyst from the spot that it came into being. What that means for you is that you're going to have to go to the place.
Here we go. All right, I
Where?
could not.
Hello.
I missed whatever the last minute or two of whatever anybody said
Okay.
was.
The short version
My audio
is
crashed.
you're going to need the catalyst. The catalyst is going to be some object from the exact birth point or origin place of the things that should not be. Wherever they sprung into existence, however it happened, you need something from there.
Just anything, like clump of dirt.
No, it has to be something connected to them, something that would have caused them to come into being.
Okay. Do we have any idea of what it'll be for Mold Man?
So, and that
Oh, man.
that requires, Thufus says with a smile, digging into the deeper histories of where precisely they came from. And he pulls out a very, very large, very dusty book.
And you see, everything has a beginning.
Oh, I need to get some water. Excuse me before I read this. Give me one moment.
Don't use the Thufus cup.
Your disembodied voice. How do you need water?
You right? Yeah, that's a good question.
Man, okay. That's so much better. Man, Thufus gives me a scratchy voice sometimes.
Yeah.
Everything has a beginning. Some say the things that should not be sprung forth from nothingness, or they were hatched from seeds sown by the forces of chaos. Other, darker tales
And he taps the book.
Duct tape.
speak of a more sinister origin.
Hmm.
There are whispers that the things are remnants of an ancient civilization, consumed by the Elder Gods thousands of years ago. 8 individuals, twisted cultists, who brought about the destruction of their world, were corrupted utterly and made rulers of a twisted realm. When the Elder Gods
Oh. So they're
Hunger once
the
more.
Eridar from World of Warcraft. I got it. Archimon.
I don't know who those are either, and I played World of Warcraft.
You should know who
when the Elder
Archimon.
Gods hunger once more, their servants are called to corrupt, infest, destroy, and pave the way.
Yeah, they're the Legion from World of Warcraft.
Here, on Idalor, the sealing of Tanalor delayed their work and forced them to slumber. But, as those seals weaken, the things begin their horrific work. And if they succeed, the destruction of our world and the creation of even more things to ravage the plains in a never-ending cycle of hunger. I believe, from the stories you told me, that you saw the creation of 8 new things that should not be. As a matter of fact, I believe you may have been part of the process.
So we're the catalyst.
So, well, there's only 4 of us, and 7 of them left.
You very, very well may be the catalysts for the new ones that have not yet sprung into being. However, I do believe
We're not going to become them, are we? Is that your?
I think
Do you
we're
guys
better
remember-
off referencing Final Fantasy.
Do you guys
12,
remember way at the
where
beginning of
False
the
Sea turned
way,
into-
way at the beginning of the campaign?
I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah. Way at the
Spend it
beginning
over
of
the pit.
campaign.
Eight people killed themselves around you, and
Yeah.
then they also cut you and dropped you into the pit to kind of mingle there. You found so you
We were
navigated
supposed to be a part of that, weren't we?
Yeah, you're supposed to be a part of that. You navigated out, and then just in time you saw the Harbinger standing over the well, and he had collected your blood and all of their blood and made it into a big old sphere that he dropped into a pit. And that initially caused what looked very much like the destruction of the world, or maybe the creation of horrible monsters. That and everything went black, but then of course something intervened, stopped time, sealed it all off, and sent you 500 years into the future for who knows what reason.
Cool. We're still
guys
working
know.
on that last part, but the rest of it makes sense.
So Thufus reads a little more. He reveals that the plane is probably accessible via map device, slotting in an appropriate disk. He states that whatever symbol would be on that map device was probably, or on that particular map, would probably be Progenesis, since that is what the plane is now called. As a matter of fact, you do have the Progenesis map in your inventory. It was one of the ones that that Roboticus was carrying and dropped.
Interesting.
Robodope.
Let's see, is that in our... Do we have
Yes,
a list
we
of
have
that?
those. We have that in our key items. Is those we have 3?
It's the one marked as Strange
3
Rune
maps.
Tablet.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because it's not made of a stone that you recognize. It's probably made from the stone of its home plane.
Oh, I see.
And we have a
Okay,
name
yeah.
for that. Can you
Gotcha.
adjust it so it says that?
Yes.
Since we know where it goes. What about the other 2? Do we know where those go to now?
So the marble map with the symbol of a crown on it probably goes to Crownport. The slate map probably goes to Slateheart.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like these things were all created with that kind of a naming convention in mind.
It's very true.
Yeah.
I wonder why that could possibly be.
Well, we got one that says Genesis.
Mm-hmm. Have the Progenesis map in there.
That doesn't follow the same naming.
No, it doesn't, because you know specifically where it goes.
All right, well let's go back to there.
Here, I'll keep it the same naming conventions. What's this fucking stone called?
Pro.
Where is it? Here?
Pro. Genesis.
We're going through the old notes now.
This is Amateur Genesis. Is that the other option there?
Genesis. Back at the tower.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much.
So you can assume you're back at the tower now. Let me get you to that map.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that tower though.
Here you are, back at the map device.
Oh, this is like fucking teleporty.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Warbo.
Waste.
This is an
We got-
atlas of worlds.
We get to spend 20 minutes convincing Roxine to go through the teleporter again.
No, we'll just time.
Yeah, he's good now.
We could just beguile him if.
He gets it. He gets it. He's cool.
It's like trying to get Mr. T to fly on a plane in the A-Team, the old
Yeah.
Right?
Give him some milk.
one. Yep.
Some milk.
Yeah,
The fuck,
like they
dude?
gave him warm milk to put him to sleep. Which
Yeah, they always
was
they
laden
drug
with
him.
Sleeping, with sleeping pills or something.
Yeah,
That's fucking weird.
I don't think you could
it
say
is. It was very strange. It was a different time.
A time when it was okay to drug a black man on TV.
Yeah, take him onto airplanes to make him fight people.
You're right. Thinking about it, yeah, I guess
To
it is a
shoot
little
at
weird.
people with
now I think
automatic
about it.
grenade launchers, so in such a way that no one dies.
Yeah.
That was the best part of those, is that nobody ever fucking died in the A-Team. Not one person died on camera. Never. In all the heavy military hardware fired at various cars and trucks and helicopters, did anyone die. They
Mhm.
always show them safely climbing out of it.
You're right.
So, anyway, we have everything that we can prepare now. So all we need to do now is go get a piece of catalyst to complete our anathema. Correct.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So If we're ready, we can step onto the Atlas of Worlds and input the correct map, which I believe we have, which will take us
Mhm.
to that location, which I forget exactly where you said that was, where they all landed. Was that actually in Tanalor, or no? That was in. I mean, not Tanalor.
It was
Where that big fucking crater is.
it's
on the
it's
map?
an ancient no where they originated is another plane. It was a
Oh, we
plane.
had to go there.
It was yeah. It is another plane that that the Elder Gods already destroyed.
Hmm.
It was the one they ate previously to getting ready to eat this one.
I see. So the elders that we have to deal with here were formed there, and then they're making a new set here that'll be for the next world.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. All right. So we'll have to go there, which will be the middle map then.
Mm-hmm. And so you'll slot in the Solidonite map,
Hmm.
and it will the whole thing will spark and whir up. It boots up much faster this time than it did before. Before, with that map that destroyed itself when you ran it because it had already been run once, and was very odd.
Hmm.
That map went somewhere that was very, very far away. This is not going as far away, but it is still taking you on an interplanar trip. So there's a lot of energy being pulled here. The hair on your arms stands up if you have hair or arms.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your
If you have
scales
hair or
your-
arms.
your scales itch and your tube arms tingle. I don't know, whatever the fuck robots do. And
Right.
They tingle pleasantly, I guess, or unpleasantly, depending
there's a
upon
lot of magic in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Then it boots up and you can step through it.
All right.
All right.
And then
Onwards and upwards.
so you a couple different things happen. First of all, you all get you feel something like it feels as if a large hand grabbed you and just threw you forward. You see, hundreds and hundreds of images flash past you. You realize these very may well be different planes, different places of existence. Some of them, the geometry is crazy; it doesn't make any sense. One of them looks like it's composed entirely of triangles. Another one looks like it's underwater, and in fact, you can't breathe for a moment as you're flung through it. One sticks in your mind very, very, very clearly, almost burned in like an after image, and you can't strike. You can't figure out why particularly it feels familiar, except that maybe there's a pair of baleful, blaming eyes gazing out at you from a giant blood-filled goblet. And then
Oh, yeah, I see. We won't have to go there, I guess.
Yeah.
That was Chalnath.
Yeah.
Chalnath.
Looks legit.
yes, you finish teleporting, and let's say
You just puke everywhere.
you puke everywhere.
For some reason, I imagined you like raising your, like looking up to do that, to vomit a geyser upward, just showering everyone with sprinkles of vomit.
The fuck, mate? Apparently not. Jesus. It's rough on your tum-tum there, buddy. Alrighty. I don't know, man. You mammals need to figure out how to hold things in your gizzard. Yeah, you just when you gotta hold on to food, but you don't want to digest it yet. You just keep it in your gizzard.
You appear in the ruins of a massive tower with dark mist stretching out towards infinity. This plane is shrouded in a deep, persisting fog.
Mm.
Decrepit foundations jut from the ground, the broken teeth of a lost empire. I'm very proud of that line. And in the midst, sort of these looming shapes of crumbling buildings and forgotten spires are reaching towards a sunless sky. The destroyed city is lit only by a dim yellowish light with no obvious source. It casts uneasy shadows on the stonework.
Mm.
Your appearance sends a reverberating whoomph through the ruins, casting dust into the air. And then there is absolute silence.
All right, let's get our bearings, I suppose.
It's when does everybody need to go by here?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll probably cut it right here, and then we can
Yeah.
kick off exploring a new plane of existence next time.